Donald Trump is back from Scotland, where, as you can see, he didn't really grasp the concept of a kilt. He did get in a round of golf at Turnberry, where he loves playing the fourth hole, because that's where his great-great-grandmother, Gormelia Trump, is buried. It's a tradition. Let's take a look at that. It's a tradition in the Trump family to bury your women on a PGA-certified Trump-owned and operated golf course. Ivana, his first wife, is buried out on the back nine at the Bedminster Golf Course in New Jersey. And here you can see the tombstone at Turnberry for Gormelia Trump, Trump's great-great-great-grandmother. It says, Gormelia Trump, beloved wife, mother, and bigot. I always thought they were German. Who knew? Well, Trump loves to travel because they love him overseas, wherever he goes. They love him, especially in Scotland. He is a beloved You saw how welcome he is in Scotland. He's a beloved figure in Scotland, so much so he's even earned the rare Scottish nickname bestowed upon only a chosen few, Braveheart. On the flight home from Scotland, Trump changed the story on why he ended his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Have you been following this Epstein story? In the past, Trump said he had a falling out with Epstein because Epstein got creepy with the daughter of a Mar-a-Lago member. Now, that's a good lie. That was good. It plays well. Trump should have stuck with that. Instead, for some reason, he got bored and came up with a whole new reason for falling out with Epstein. And now and this is what he said on the flight home from Scotland, the falling out with Epstein was over Ghislaine Maxwell, quote, poaching one of my spa attendants at Mar-a-Lago. Not good, Donald. Go back to the other lie. That spa attendant was Virginia Giuffre, who was hired by Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell spotted Ms. Giuffre reading a book on massage while Giuffre was working as a spa attendant at Mar-a-Lago. Ms. Giuffre began working as a spa attendant at Mar-a-Lago at the age of 16. For the record, the age of consent in Florida is 18, which begs several questions. Why is a 16-year-old girl working as a spa attendant inside Mar-a-Lago? Why, at 16, is she reading a book on massage while working as a spa attendant at Mar-a-Lago? Secondly, Jeffrey Epstein didn't own a luxury resort in Palm Beach. He just lived there. So what did Trump think Epstein was poaching a 16-year-old spa attendant for? What did he think Jeffrey Epstein took a 16-year-old spa attendant for? What, to help manage Les Wexner's philanthropic trusts? I find it odd that the President of the United States changed his story from I stopped talking to Epstein because he was creepy with someone's daughter to he poached my 16-year-old spa attendant while she was at Mar-a-Lago studying up on massage. Virginia Giuffre later testified that she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew 3 times, and she settled with the royal family for millions before taking her own life earlier this year. Her family issued a statement on Thursday urging Trump not to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. In an official statement, the family called Maxwell a monster who deserves to rot in prison for the rest of her life. Meanwhile, there's the 3 minutes missing from the closed-circuit surveillance video taken outside Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell in the hours leading up to his death. CBS now reporting, and I'm not making this up, there now appears to be a mysterious orange blob climbing the steps towards Epstein's cell on the tape 8 hours before Epstein was found dead. An orange blob. That's what CBS said it was. An orange blob moving in the darkness, which is also how Melania described her wedding night. Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat from Oregon and the former chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, he's now the ranking member. He is demanding that the IRS investigate Jeffrey Epstein's $1.5 billion in wire transactions, including the $158 million paid to Epstein by Leon Black, co-founder of Apollo Global Management. That's a private equity firm that Black started and ran. He had to step down in 2021 due to his Jeffrey Epstein connection. Wyden went on YouTube late Thursday with allegations. This is his tweet hyping his YouTube statement. Big news from my investigations on Epstein's sex trafficking operations. The Trump administration has an Epstein file detailing 4,725 wire transfers and almost $1.1 billion flowing through just one of his banks, hundreds of millions more through others. The Trump administration claims it doesn't have enough evidence to investigate. If you ask me, that's 4,725 lines of investigation right there, and that should be the start of it. Epstein had to pay for all his sex trafficking somehow. Further evidence shows he used Russian banks to process hundreds of millions in payments. Again, this is info in the possession of the Trump administration, but they're refusing to investigate. That is from Senator Ron Wyden, who is the ranking member of the Senate Banking Committee. Meanwhile, Alex Jones telling self-professed Nazi Nick Fuentes that he's received multiple offers from the Trump White House to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Jones now saying Trump has offered him bribes to stop talking about Epstein. Jones says he will not stop talking about Epstein. He's accusing Donald Trump of becoming everything he used to be against. Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney says she won't testify before the House Oversight Committee, which subpoenaed her last week, unless she is given immunity from further prosecution and until the Supreme Court rules on her appeal. The Supreme Court has scheduled a private conference on September 29th to consider whether to hear Maxwell's appeal. What is her appeal? Well, lawyers for Maxwell contend that Jeffrey Epstein's 2007 non-prosecution agreement in Florida should carry over to her 2021 prosecution in New York. An argument so insane, I can't believe Trump's lawyers aren't making it. If the Supreme Court refuses to hear her appeal, Maxwell will have exhausted all her options and will be forced to finish out her 20-year sentence. The House Oversight Committee responded to Maxwell's attorney, telling him there will be no immunity in exchange for Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony. No immunity, but after she testifies, they will send her a cake, and inside of that cake will be a bed sheet already shaped like a noose. Will we ever see Steve Bannon's 15 hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein? Epstein, in the years leading up to his death, paid Steve Bannon to rehabilitate his image. How was Steve Bannon going to rehabilitate Jeffrey Epstein's image? Okay, Jeffrey, people think you're a pedophile, but maybe they'll forgive all of that if they discovered you're also a virulent racist. Well, apparently Bannon recorded 15 hours with Epstein, asking Epstein tough 60-minute style questions as part of a crisis management service Bannon was providing in the lead up to Epstein's arrest. Bannon reportedly stayed in Epstein's Paris apartment and was communicating with Epstein right up until Epstein's arrest in 2019. Just when you think Bannon can't be any more loathsome, he always surprises us. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries now getting backlash from members of his own caucus after he keeps urging them to hammer Trump and the Republicans over the Jeffrey Epstein cover-up. Hakeem Jeffries wants to win the midterms and become Speaker, and he seems to think reminding voters of Trump's Epstein connection is a winning message, because we know how much a jury last year finding Trump guilty of rape in common law parlance, we know how much that had a negative effect on Trump's race for president. I'm not the only one saying Epstein is not going to win votes for Democrats. Nate Silver just wrote a piece over at his Substack saying the polls he's looking at show voters care about the economy, and while they're titillated by the Epstein story, Epstein's not going to affect their vote. Democrats, I believe, lack the vocabulary to address end-stage capitalism, which we're in. If you don't want to be accused of being a Marxist or a socialist, which Republicans are going to accuse Democrats of no matter what, you should start introducing legislation right now that addresses the needs of voters. Raise the minimum wage, Medicare for all, free tuition at all public colleges and universities, free universal daycare. Start with that right now. Force Mike Johnson not to bring these bills to the floor. That way, when they start calling you Marxists, you say, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm for Medicare for all. You want to call that Marxism? Knock yourself out. So, Epstein isn't going to win Democrats' votes in the midterms. That being said, it does seem to be driving a gigantic wedge between Trump and his MAGA morons, so have at it. What just happened here? Meanwhile, where am I? There we go. An anonymous... I don't know what just happened there. An anonymous House Democrat asked by Axios about Hakeem Jeffries insisting on playing the Epstein card. This anonymous House Democrat said, quote, "Do I think that's going to win us the election? No. But this is a great opportunity for Republicans to kill each other." Yeah, and it's also an opportunity for Democrats to miss the opportunity to show voters what's in it for them if they vote for a Democrat. Now is when you showcase what you're for.